All right, exactly 20 minutes past 4, and of course we're giving you that 24/7 coverage of what's going on this week when it comes to the elections 2019. As I said just before the break, we are going to catch up with KwaZulu-Natal and find out what's going on there, where about 100 voting stations suffered delays, mainly due to service delivery protests. 6 people were arrested after roads were blocked on Wednesday. Well, our SABC reporter, Ayanda Mhlongo at the Provincial ROC Centre in Durban. She joins us live there now. Good morning to you, Ayanda. Well, tell us what's happening then in KZN, specifically Durban. There had been some protests. Has that really affected voter turnout and everything going on around the elections? Take us through what's going on.
All right, good morning to you, Flo, and good morning to our viewers at home. Well, certainly quite a busy day. If we look back at yesterday at voting day, both IEC and law enforcement agencies having had their hands full, as you know, many voting stations in the province of KwaZulu-Natal early on in the morning, as around 100, we were told, were unable to start on time because of the demonstrations that took place. Most of them, in fact, taking place here in the eThekwini Metro and other areas in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. And unfortunately, in some areas, as we reported late last night, that in the uKhahlamba area, 4 voting stations there were unable, although they did open eventually at around 4 p.m. in the afternoon, but voters in that area deciding not to vote. So as we understand, not a single person voted in uKhahlamba's Ward 15. Yesterday, which had about a population of about 4,000, we are told. So they were expecting about 4,000 people who had registered in that particular area. And it's not the only one. We also hear that down in the south, in the area of Umdoni, again, service delivery protests there, but resulting again in communities boycotting yesterday's vote. Of course, the challenges are here and there. Other stuff that we picked up yesterday was a delay in material. Some of the political parties that we were chatting to later on in the afternoon, saying that they were a bit upset that people had to wait quite a long time for additional ballot papers to be delivered to the respective voting stations. But coming back to here, it's been an incredibly long night for the political parties here as they anxiously await the results as they start to trickle in. Of course, it's still a very early flow at this moment. And I've just been looking at the board here with the results coming in slowly from KwaZulu-Natal. Of course, we have around 5.1 million registered voters here in the province, and with some people not choosing not to vote yesterday, we'll still have to wait quite a while to get those numbers. But I've just been seeing that the ANC is already in the lead so far. But as I said, the results are still very, very early. Still, the first results that are trickling in, and so this picture is going to change throughout the course of the day. But it's about 23,000 in just a few seconds, growing to 27,000, I beg your pardon, the IFP, DA, and then the EFF in terms of the parties that have already seem to be getting most of those votes. But as I said, it's still very early, and that could change throughout the course of the day. The political parties are here. They've been here throughout the night, and they will continuously monitor the results as they come through. Of course, the results will be going to the 44 districts. They're counted at the voting stations. Then they're captured in the districts. And here, the IEC officials that we see here, this is the center for the eThekwini result. Of course, we'll be getting the provincial results as well. But here, these are the results that are being tallied, those that are coming in just from the eThekwini district. So it's still a long day ahead for the political parties. And suppose it's going to be interesting. And later on, we'll be getting into our analysis. We'll also be joined by our political analysts just to take us through as we unpack these results as they come through. Flo.
All right, great work, Ayanda. Thank you very much. We'll be, of course, getting back to her and getting more updates from Durban, KZN. Let's cross over now to Pretoria, of course, where Arabile Gumede and Simpuwe Ngongwane have been keeping me company from the ROC in Pretoria, the IEC Centre there. Let's hear what is going on there. Arabile, what do you have for us?
course, at the ROC here, that's the Regional Operations Center, of course, here in Pretoria. Of course, the scenario, of course, the situation. can tell things perhaps beginning to trickle in and start all over again this morning. We are beginning to see sentiment and the cause of things and just where things are beginning to head towards. When one takes a look at the voting scenario there, Flo, we're almost at 10% this morning when it comes to that national vote. The picture is beginning to take effect as well there, and we are beginning to find out the scenarios as to what exactly is going to happen in certain regions and certain areas there as well. Just quickly looking in on how things are flowing as well, particularly now in the Northern Cape. Very quickly, 37.34% of the vote has been counted there. 707 voting districts, so 264 have been counted. The ANC still maintaining their majority there at 53.62% with regards to support. 28.19% for the DA, and the EFF sitting at 6.78. Let's continue to check in as well on just some of the other regions as well. Out in the Eastern Cape as well, 16.5% of the votes have been counted on that front there as well. 72.57% going out to the ANC there, with the DA taking in 14.3. Voter turnout in the Eastern Cape has been at around 60% thus far, with spoiled votes sitting at just over 3,000 as well. So as you can tell then, that picture is one that may not necessarily stay that way, but it does tell you exactly how things are faring and shaping up at present, considering where we are in that voting cycle. Overall, as you can see, the EFF getting a 7.18% support rating on the National Assembly as well. The DA sitting at 28.73, which would be a real heavy improvement, but a whole lot of counting is still to come. On the National Assembly front, we still have 10.5% of votes having been counted at present. So it is quite interesting to get into that picture, exactly how things are faring on the on the National Assembly front. You have 64.17% of voter turnout there. 11,875 ballots have been spoiled. Now, if the figure does stay at 64.17 with regards to voter turnout across the country, that brings that figure even lower, below 20 million voters having put through their votes as well. If we go through to that national results board as well, here at the ROC, the ROC here in Pretoria, of course, you begin to see the numbers coming in there. The ANC sitting at 465,546 votes nationally. Then the DA sitting, of course, still in second place there, 255,055 with regard to those votes. The EFF languishing in third, 63,728, with the Freedom Front Plus there at 36,881. That board perhaps telling a picture there. The likes of Azapo there, 413 votes as well. Then Cope, look at that, 3,809 votes there as well, still making headway. And the Good Party, Patricia de Lille's party there, she's led with regards to leadership on that front. She's gotten 8,769 votes for the Good Party then. Of course, one of the newest entrants to the political arena here in South Africa. The UDM there with their leader Bantu Holomisa, 4,423 votes thus far, just checking in on the board. The IFP as well, 9,133 with regards to the number of votes having received on the national front. The race for those votes does continue, and we'll continue to unpack it for you, right? We'll continue to give you some sentiment and just how things are faring. We'll continue to get updates as well, not just right now, but across the morning as well. And hopefully the IEC will join us a little bit later on as well to unpack exactly what has happened thus far, as my colleagues as well begin to awaken from their slumber and get to grips with things here at the ROC in Pretoria. Let's quickly check in on Mpumalanga very quickly as well. 11.12% of votes have been counted on that front there. The voting districts, 1,772. And as you can see, the ANC, they're getting a majority of 63.36%. 15.45% for the DA, and the EFF sitting just above that 10% mark. So some keen numbers coming through on that front. One that we perhaps will be looking towards for hot contestation exactly the province of Gauteng, only 4.6% has been counted for them on that front. The ANC thus far maintaining 52.43% of the votes there. But as you can tell, of course, very few of the entire part of Gauteng has actually been counted sufficiently, and you can't really get a full number as to how things are faring exactly right now. All right, well, this is the scenario here, of course, at the Rock. We have over 22,000, so we say, voting districts and voting centers, polling centers across the country, which, of course, detail exactly how the scenario has fared. We continue to get some of the results throughout the province. It is going to be difficult to ascertain. So the three metros that perhaps the ANC will be keenly worried about, of course, are those of Tshwane, Johannesburg, and of course the Nelson Mandela metropolitan